Hi everyone, I'm Hyram, and these are my hot guy travel tips for whenever I'm traveling. I absolutely love traveling. It has always been a passion of mine. I'm like, take me to the most remote place around the world, place me there, and let me figure it out. I actually travel a lot. It's mostly for work, but typically I'm going somewhere every other week, whether it's New York, LA, I'm based in Hawaii, Colorado, sometimes Europe where my brand is located. I tend to hop around the globe quite a bit. So this is my bag that I use when I'm traveling, and honestly, I wish I could say it's my favorite bag, but it just happens to be the most recent travel bag I have because airlines have a habit of losing my luggage. In the last year, airlines have lost my luggage, I think 6, maybe 7 times. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just bring a simple bag that I know will work and that also has an air tag literally latched to it. I can always track it on my phone and find where it is. But for me, all I need in a bag is something that's functional and it's not the end of the world in case the airline loses it. So in my bag, I kind of like to keep it somewhat organized, although that is always a losing battle because my bag is like my brain. It's just constantly a mess all the time. But I like to keep my most important items in this little bag right here. So within this little pocket, I first always make sure I have a hand sanitizer on me. I've gotten sick too many times from traveling that I'm like, you know what? I need to make sure that I'm staying germ-free as much as possible. So I love the Touchland hand sanitizer. It's a great luxurious hand sanitizer formula that doesn't dry out the hands too much, but does a good job of just making sure that germs be gone. Oh, and speaking of staying germ-free, I always make sure to have a bunch of single-use masks with me. I am still that person that will wear a mask whenever I'm traveling, or a lot of times whenever I go out in public, just to make sure that I stay safe. So I always have these black ones. They look very chic. They can work with whatever outfit I'm wearing. I'm staying safe, I'm not getting sick, my health is good. The next thing I always make sure I bring with me, particularly because my skin gets pretty greasy and oily whenever I fly or travel anywhere, I always have blotting papers. These are Sephora Collection blotting papers, and they just do a great job of making sure that whenever I wake up from my flight and I'm looking like a mess, just grease everywhere, these always do a good job of making sure that my skin stays refreshed, it doesn't look too shiny. These are awesome. I honestly prefer to listen to music because I am someone who can pretty much fall asleep in any setting. And as much as I try to convince myself like, oh, I'll watch this movie, I'll watch the whole thing, it'll be so great, 15 minutes into the movie, I am already drooling and knocked out. So I prefer to listen to music just to help me drift off to sleep, little lullabies. Next up, I always make sure to have a mini travel size sunscreen with me because if the plane window is open and you're all the way up there at like 10, 20, 30,000 feet, the sun can be really strong and you can see a lot of sun damage. So I always have the Hero Cosmetics SPF 30 sunscreen with me. I love this one, it's the Force Shield. It's a great way of just making sure I'm getting that protection. It also has a green tint to it to offset any redness or irritation my skin might experience from being in a plane. It just makes sure that my skin is gonna look Gucci, it's gonna be protected, we're gonna be good for a long while. One challenge I have when I'm traveling is that I tend to break out a lot. It might honestly be because of like maskne or just the stress my skin goes through, and I always want to make sure to target it. So I love using the Selfless by Hyram Salicylic Acid Serum. I'll use this all over my face or on areas where I have a little bit of a breakout, on my nose where the pores might get a little extra oily. This is an awesome product to address all those concerns. It depends on the airlines. Some airlines have had some really good food. Like I recently went to Indonesia and the Philippines and flew with Philippines Airways, and I felt like I was treated like royalty. The food was so good, it was delicious. But most of the time, I will opt to kind of eat my own snacks, or if I'm really hungry, then I will eat the meals that they provide. This next product is one that I have to have on me 24/7, regardless of even if I'm traveling, but especially when I'm traveling. Lumify eye drops. I have a love relationship with these eye drops. I could literally marry them because they do such an incredible job of removing any excess redness on my eye area. You know, if I've been sleeping for like 8 hours on an overnight flight and I wake up and it looks like, you know, a demon in the mirror, these do a really good job of just removing that redness, and I always have to have them with me 24/7 because I have very sensitive eyes. If I didn't remember a lot of this other stuff, I'd probably be able to find a good replacement at the airport, but nothing compares to my Lumify babies. They're the best of the best, and if I don't have these on me, I will spiral into a very dramatic panic attack. Nobody wants that. So those are my most important essentials in the little bag. Let's move on to the big bag with all the serious stuff. This next product I love using, particularly as a content creator, because wherever I am in the world, I always want to be filming content. I always want to be making more videos for anyone who's watching. And this right here is probably the most impractical thing to carry in a carry-on bag. And I'm pretty sure I've been flagged at security many times with it, but it's an extendable tripod that will literally, watch this. It's practically a weapon, which is why TSA really doesn't like it when I bring it through the security line. And along with the tripod, this light is incredible. If you're someone who is as self-absorbed as me to always want good lighting in any of the pictures or videos, this light is great at not only lasting for a really long time, but it goes right on top of the tripod and makes sure that if I am filming any videos or whatever it may be, I'm always set up for good lighting. It is the Digipower. So there actually is an item I always pack, but I never truthfully use it. It is a camera, like an actual DSLR camera. And I always try to convince myself that I'm gonna be like a pro vlogger and, you know, get the full camera set up and it's gonna be so beautiful. But then I always end up just filming with my phone and I never actually end up using the camera. So I bring it everywhere I go. Have I used it once while traveling? Nope. Next, and this is my ultimate travel hack. I recommend this to everyone because a lot of people don't actually think of this when they're traveling, but whenever you're flying, there's flight attendants who are working hard to make sure that your experience is comfortable, and a lot of times they don't really get recognized or really get a lot of thank yous for what they do. So I always make sure to have Starbucks gift cards on me that I can give to whatever flight attendant is helping me throughout the flight. I'll typically give it to them at like the end of the flight as just a little thank you. I'll sometimes write little notes on it, and it really goes a long way to make them feel appreciated and make them feel like they are, you know, helping people out. And it's always cool to see like their reactions and how surprised they get. This is really handy if you're someone who always forgets to charge your phone, because that is definitely me. I make sure to have this portable charging bank with me at all times. And then you can just flip that down, plug it into the wall. It'll fully charge my phone, I think like 2 or 3 times over. Definitely an essential for whenever I'm traveling. I always have to have it in my bag. And not to add another skincare product, but I definitely love this product. And this is the moisturizer I always recommend for anyone who is ever traveling, the Skin Fix Triple Lipid Barrier Peptide Cream. I freaking love this product so much because it is one of the only ones that will combat even the most dry of environments, aka planes. I always apply this before or during a flight to make sure that my skin stays plump, it stays nourished and hydrated, and just protected against any environment or anything that could happen when you're traveling that'll just suck all the hydration and moisture out of your skin. It's definitely one of my holy grail products. So it was my first ever brand trip that I had done. A brand had flown me out to do some filming, and when I landed, I realized that I had forgotten a cleanser. It was the morning of the filming. I was like, shoot, I don't have anything to cleanse my face. And if I can't cleanse my face, it tends to get red, irritated, very sensitized. So I was panicking, I didn't know what to do. And then my eyes went over to my shaving cream, and I looked at the ingredients and realized that my shaving cream actually had the perfect ingredients for cleansing my face. So I went to town, just putting shaving cream all over my face, massaging it into my skin, and it worked. Thank you so much, Cosmo, for having me. These are my travel tips, but I'd love to know, what are your travel tips? I always need some recommendations, and I'd love to hear yours, so comment them down below. My skincare brand, Selfless by Hyram, is now available at Target, both in-store and online, so if you want to check it out, go to Target. You can find all the Selfless products there.